Hello and welcome back to Loren, the Amazon Princess. Now, as I left off the last video, I seem to recall getting a swanky magic sword for her. Does that mean she actually gets to use it? Tempered longsword, fine longsword, maybe not. No, apparently not. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes available later somehow. Anywho, I'm still using that. Do you have anything better? Still no better weapons than I was given initially. Oh well. Potions. Nope, another couple of bucklers, which I don't need. Right, anyway, so we are back in town. Our current quest is still to find Queen Karen. Incidentally, I'm probably not going to be considerate at all about how I say these people's names, so sorry. I'm assuming that's a completed quest, so okay. Well, let's do some shopping. Okay, what's 200 swords? Oh, I do love a lightning sword. Air damage, okay. So you can normally use everything. Gladiator sword, okay. Let's look at armors, I think. Armor of the Vampire Lord, well that's promising sounding name. Magic vest. Nothing really grabbing me from this selection, I don't think. No, nothing that really fits with my playstyle, I don't think. So I think I'm just going to sell the stuff I don't need. Including both bucklers. And these gems, which I don't think have any purpose other than... Terribly sorry about that. Yes, I don't think those gems have any point other than being sold. So, there's a thing up here that says Town Fame, so that's probably related to these tasks. So let's have a look. Fight street thugs, 1 fame. Okay, let's do that. So if I'm fighting some street thugs with this party setup, hopefully I should absolutely annihilate them. Love the fact the music hasn't actually changed at all. So yeah, they'll get some hits off, but then a better chance to use insanely overpowered guy down here, so that's fine. Alright, so do massive damage to him. Magic hold him. Now, Fireball 2 seems to be the logical choice here, because 3 is not as powerful, but it does hit all enemies, but since there's only one roll.
Try this on for size.
It's fine. You're scared. Okay, that's just defense reduce. It's fine. Let's hit him with that. A bit of damage across the board. Hit that guy. Okay, that will almost certainly be fatal, so I'd rather do the damage to him, weakening his defense so that that moves can hold him. Let's paralyze the bandit just because I can. Base attack and hope it kills him. Hey! He's paralyzed, we can't do jack, and they're gone. No idea what the point of building Town Fame is, but, you know, it's probably, yeah, it's good for a bit of XP. You've become more popular! Hooray! Ah, so I'm assuming I can do all of these things. Defeat guards in a tournament. I'm assuming Town Fame probably does do something, so a 2v2 battle. Well, I want to keep Monsieur overpowered over there. So let's try this. This could end badly. Wow! What the frell? I'm in trouble. I'm in a lot of trouble. Wasn't expecting that. Do I have a... Nope, don't have a potion that'll... Oh dear. I could be in... I'm just going to continue that, because Yeah, if I'm going to get whacked like that anytime I try that, that was ridiculous. 2v2 battle. I might try that later. Anywho, review party setup. Let's put everybody back where they belong. Okay, and then we can... Yeah, I think we can leave now. Because I don't know what good town fame does apart from possibly making stuff cheaper in the shop or something like that. Anyway. I feel like I should keep some restoration potions or something. Price 120. I've got enough gold to buy a couple of these, so I'll buy 2 of those and just have them on standby just in case. I'll sell that longsword. Right, let's leave the city. The party was refreshed and supplied after a good night's rest in Grimoire. They rose with the sun to leave as soon as possible in their search for Loren's mother. Just before they left the city, they were stopped by city guards. Fearing the worst, they were pleasantly relieved while Alfismo revealed himself. "Leaving without me, princess?" Loren and Eleanor inspected the old wizard as he approached, surrounded by guards once more, only this time he was being followed by someone new, a large man with a stern face. "We parted ways after I gave you the sword, and here it is again, meaning that our paths must cross once more." He pointed to some guards carrying a long, decorative case. They opened it to reveal the ember blade resting on a cushion of velvet. It truly looked like a weapon meant for the gods. "What is the meaning of this? Why have you stopped me?" "I have learned something very important about the shadow creatures that attacked us those nights ago." "Does this really concern me? You are keeping me from my task." "This most certainly concerns you. The whole world is on the precipice of war, and even the Amazons cannot hide from it." Loren sighed and tapped her foot. "Make this short." "Consulting with the council, we have found that the crystal used to send the Shadow Men could only have been found in the volcanic lands of the Everburn Mountains." Everburn Mountains? That's demon territory. "Yes, the home of the demons. I fought them before a long time ago, and they are led by the entity known as Faust. He is a bloodthirsty force, and if he is behind this attempt to wage war, then he will stop at nothing to have it." "A war between elves and humans? What do I care?" "I fear, Princess, that your mother may have been part of Faust's grand scheme." Alfismo had Loren's full attention at this point. "When I asked you to help the Empire retrieve this sword, it was so that we could bring it back as a weapon for the Empire to use. For protection only, of course. As you know, the Ember Blade is one of the few swords forged by the gods to endow the world with their might. While a finely crafted piece of steel, it is nothing more than that in the wrong hands." Loren immediately recalled how the sword had glowed at her touch back on the mountain. "It will not give its full strength to just any mortal. The mortal must be the strongest and most worthy warrior whom Averon has to offer." "What of this old tale?" "It is no tale, it is reality, and we all witnessed how the sword reacted to Princess Loren. The gods have recognized her as worthy of their power." "Of course they did. Loren has no peer." "Eleanor, forgive me. The council and I had hoped to give this sword to Grimoire's greatest warrior." He turned and allowed the tall man to step forward. Another bloody unpronounceable name. Umakiki, the bear, the champion of the arena. He has won tournament after tournament and is the best warrior the Empire has ever seen. And yet, he gestured for Umakiki to take the sword. Stiffly he approached the Ember Blade and took it by the hilt to wield it for the party. It did not glow. "There is no reaction in the sword to him. As much as it troubles us, the sword can only be of use if it will recognize its owner. In short, Princess, the Ember Blade is yours." "Wow, you're really giving her that ancient relic." "Present it to her, Amukiki." The warrior was rigid in hesitation. Then he finally held the sword's blade so that Loren could take it by the handle. Slowly, Loren did just that. Wrapping her fingers around the hilt caused an immediate glow in the sword, confirming that it had truly chosen her. "Take care of it. It stands for more than you know." I shall. Loren was humbled by the gift. She had not expected to be entitled to such an honour. She had only wanted to save her mother. And what of this man? Eleanor could detect jealousy in Amakiki as he watched Loren handle the weapon that had once been meant for him. His eyes met with Eleanor's eyes. For years I have trained to become Grimoire's elite weapon. I was to use the strength of this blade to protect the Empire and the whole of Averon. Suddenly he knelt in front of Loren, who stared at him, wide-eyed in surprise. And now I could only serve to protect the true wielder of the Ember Blade. I hereby pledge myself to Princess Loren of the Amazons, at the cost of my life, if necessary. Pity for the man turned to jealousy. Eleanor was Loren's sworn protector, not this man. That is not necessary. I am here to protect her. You may return to your life as it was before this moment. Right, we already have enough bodyguards. Thank you. Goodbye. My life before was that sword. I have already made my oath. Yay, new party member. Love a new party member. Ooh, and I can give him some points. Right. That's lots of points of strength. He is a gladiator, apparently. He might end up being my primary tank, actually. In fact, I think he will. Yeah, because a lot of his moves look to be primarily yeah, so I think I'm going to get him shield defense, and I'm also going to get him first level of taunt. So if I can eventually get up to taunt 3, that should give him enough oomph to actually just draw everything towards him. Eventually level up toughness, yeah, probably get shield defense 3. So that's good. He stared hard into Eleanor's eyes, as if to warn her not to challenge his devotion again. I will follow the sword as well. It is the Empire's only hope, and so the Amazon Princess is our only hope. I have not committed to helping the Empire. I will not fight elves. That is unnecessary. The sword will show you your path. I trust that it will be the right one. So, now these two guys are following us too. The crazy old guy who nearly killed me, and a guy who looks like he could kill me just by blinking too hard. I agree, our group is full enough as it is. Eleanor stood between Amakiki and the party. He glared at her in return, not appreciating how unwelcome he was to the group he had just sworn allegiance to. So long as you help and don't slow me down, I don't care anymore. I just need to leave and find my mother. We shall not burden you, just as before. My grace, you can't be Eleanor. Yes, forgive me. One last time before joining Loren's side, Eleanor gave a sidelong glare to Amakiki. Loren was not his to protect, and they didn't even know if he could be trusted. In retrospect, the initial tensions between Eleanor and Amakiki were merely because they were both people desperately searching for recognition in this cruel world. Both were raised as nobodies, and both were given a chance to make something of themselves. For some reason, they believed that only one of them could truly obtain such priceless recognition. Yep, new party member. Love a new party member. You now have more than 6 party members. Only active members who fight will gain experience from fights and quests. However, you can still level up everyone by alternating the formation and returning to old places such as the Temple of Truth. Cool. It's up to you to decide. You can keep the same party members throughout the whole game or change them deciding on which character is best suited for each battle. Fair enough. So yes, the next place we need to head for is the Unforgiving Swamplands. What will those ones do? I think that just turns on and off the amount of things that go. Okay, let's go back to the camp and let's start talking to people. And they're now all clustered on that side of the screen. So I've clearly still got like half a dozen guys to get over here. So I'm gonna put them onto the separate screens, just because it's easy to show. It's fine. So perhaps I have not impressed upon you the urgency of our matters. No more idle chatter. So he's got nothing to say. Eleanor walked up to the hulking gladiator, standing guard by himself on the outskirts of camp. Amukuki moved his hand towards the hilt of his sword as she approached. "It is my turn to guard the camp. I am not familiar with the Empire's customs. You've made an oath involving my mistress, and I want to know what that means." The warrior was quiet for a moment. "The oath I made is not an Empire custom. It is part of my heritage, which makes you much stronger." "What is your heritage, if not of the Empire?" "I am from the nomads of the south. I have lived within the Empire, and that is all." "You defend the Empire as if it were important to you." "I have sworn an oath to my nation as well." "And if your oath to your nation conflicts with your oath to Loren?" He did not speak for a moment, but was completely still. "I will not harm the wielder of the Ember Blade." "We are placing a lot of trust in those words, sir. I will not hesitate to fight you if you break them." "I do not break my oaths." "But you make several of them, so it's possible they could conflict. If that were ever the case, I would take my own life." "I hope that is not necessary." "Now you see I do not make oaths I cannot keep." Okay, I can kind of respect this guy. He's not exactly the most subtle, but he does sound to have his own code of honor, and I can respect a man with a code of honor. "Do all dwarves live in the mountains?" "Not all. Dora doesn't, from what I hear. I come from Hammerhands, that shiny, smoggy beast of a city. We built a mighty fortress smack dab on the side of a mountain, though. Our keep is the strongest you'll find in Avaron." "Even stronger than the Citadel?" "You bet your bottom it is." "It sounds amazing." "Great beauteous stone right in the middle, pride of our race." "Do you live in the mines, like I heard dwarves do?" "Blast no, mines are cold reeks, and my wagon would lose its wheels faster than an Imperial in a forest. I'd rather have my feet planted on top of the ground rather than under it, that's for sure." Wow, talk about breaking perfectly good dwarven stereotypes. Seriously, who breaks good dwarven stereotypes? "When you said you couldn't leave Grimoire because of your job, you never said what your job was." Yeah, I suppose not." Eleanor waited for a follow-up, but Dora didn't continue. "Well, what is the job that you left behind?" "Oh, nothing really, just transporting goods. I was a transporter." "Aren't you a little small to carry much?" "I've carried stuff twice my size, but I usually just carry really important things, so it's not too much to handle at all." "I'm confused. What exactly did you transport?" Just things. Pretty things, shiny things, expensive things." "And where did you transport them to?" "My home." "Dora, did people know you were taking their stuff?" Eleanor gave Dora a disapproving look. "Look, I know it sounds bad, but it's not. I ain't a thief or anything. I'm just in the business of collecting stuff. Really cool stuff, no matter where it is. What if there was a cool vase in some ruins? No one would get huffy about a researcher taking it. If it's someone else's property, it's not yours." Dora pouted. "I knew I shouldn't have told you anything." Hey, Draco. "Nothing's new with me." "So he's got nothing new to say?" "Princess?" "Eleanor?" "Yes, mistress?" "This blade is dull. I need you to sharpen it." She held out the ember blade, and her jaw dropped. "It is too distracting for me to do it myself." She was referencing how the sword glowed at her touch. "Yes, of course. I will tend to it for you. It would be the greatest honor to service this weapon." "It's just a sword like any other." Eleanor frowned. "You still do not believe in the history of this sword, or the other holy relics?" "It glows." "Many things glow in this world. A night flag glows, but it is not a divine intervention." "We cannot understand the gods, no. This sword is imbued with magic, their gift. It must mean something. Magical weapons are forged every day." "You're right. This is but a sword in all hands. All hands but yours. I believe you are the hero that Avaron needs, and that you are beyond worthy to be a divine voice. It doesn't matter what you think of this sword. I know that you are those things." Loren sighed and crossed her arms, but she could not reply. Still can't talk English. Okay, yeah. Equip the bloody ember blade. Wowza! That's a really good sword. I think I'm going to stop using Eleanor's sword and board because it's not... she's not doing any damage for my taste. So I think I'd rather swap and make her dual wield. So if she's dual wielding, that's fine. Right, let's leave the party camp and head to the unforgiving swamps. Water, mud, slime, fog, the swamp has it all. Draco sloshed around in the swamp with surprising ease. Eleanor raised an eyebrow. What? You enjoy the swamps? Didn't you ever make mud pies when you were a kid? Let's just say not exactly. Careful, I sense lizard men nearby. Lizard men? They are notoriously dangerous creatures. Their bodies have heightened self-regenerative powers. Aim for their vital spots. Here they are. Get ready to fight. Be your party setup. Right. I think he's going to become my primary tank. So I think I'm going to take the dwarf out and put him in. Because I need to have Eleanor and Loren. So, lizardmen. So, first one with a move is Dora. Let's do a high damage shot over there. Then, what's this? High damage strike. Then I'll get. Okay, let's paralyze him. Throw a fireball across there. Dead. Badly wounded. Dead. So he's the only one still left standing, and double strike for a bit of damage. He's slowed, but he can still strike. So yeah, that should be enough to finish this fight.
Now let's see if they had anything good on it.
That was easy. Dun. Should we fall back to camp and get better equipment? Agreed, but we must not delay much longer. Okay, I'm camping again apparently. Perhaps I have not impressed. Okay, this is still the generic one. As for your oath itself, it is completely unnecessary. I am the sworn protector of Loren. You are simply redundant. If you have a ritual that retracts the oath, you should perform it now. I will not. Why not? Why must you be sworn oath to protect someone? Are you afraid that if you are not forbidden to kill her that you would? Amakuki look turned razor sharp as he stared Eleanor straight in the eyes. You are jealous of her. I saw how you looked when the sword glowed for her and not you. How are we to know you would not just kill Loren in the hopes that the sword will recognize you instead? That will not happen, and you do not know me to say that it might. Exactly, we don't know you, so you're even more dangerous to have around. I'm sorry to say that my oath makes my presence very permanent. Eleanor ground her teeth while staring down the warrior. I should remind you that Amazons detest men. If Loren tolerates you, it is only barely so. Loren may not wish to mate with me, but she knows I have a use, just like you. Even the Amazons cannot reject men entirely in their society. As slaves, you mean? They keep men for labor, because they know they are stronger. Romance option, but I'm not going to go for it. I'm just going to stick with friendly. I'm not sure I agree with how you view the Amazons, but that does not concern me. Your priority is to keep Loren safe and obey her orders. This is not being that friendly, I've got to say. We are in agreement on that, then. My axe is getting restless. Nice, that's his idol. Oh, hi again. Idol. Your Majesty, if I may ask, now that we are travelling together, I would like to know what you expect of me. What kind of question is this? Everything I need you for. That is what a servant is for. I see. I am still your princess, even though I have left the citadel. Yes, I was not doubting that at all, ma'am. I have only ever seen the field of the training grounds, never the inside of the palace walls. I did not know how to serve your kind. All of my slaves stood 5 paces away from me at all times, and they did not look me in the eyes. Eleanor immediately averted her eyes and took several steps away. Loren evaluated her. No, that looks odd when there is only one of you. You may stand closer. Eleanor shuffled back. Behind me, when I am not addressing you. Yes. Thank you, mistress. It was a small victory for her to be allowed more intimacy with Loren. Perhaps when they came to know each other more, Eleanor could stand with respect next to her. Princess still kinda stuck up. Right, so I think that's everything that needs to be said for the moment. And looking at the timer, this is probably a fairly decent moment to end this particular video. So thank you very much for watching part 6. Yes, part 6. And I will see you in part 7.